Hello, everybody. So today I am joined with my husband, Kyle, and there's a very good reason for that. We are coming up on 5 whole years of marriage.
Oh, he's got rings.
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
So we're coming up on 5 whole years of marriage. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Can't believe it's been that long.
To celebrate that, we thought, and this isn't necessarily like tips to marriage or anything, this is just 5 different little lessons that we've learned being married.
Yep.
And it could apply to some of you, so let us know in the comments below if it does. If not, this is just stuff that we've learned and it definitely applies to us.
Yeah, definitely.
And every relationship is different, which I think we're going to talk about.
Yep, that's one of our points.
So, number 1 is compromise.
So every relationship's different.
Mm-hmm. And specifically what we want to talk about compromise is everyone tells you how much you have to compromise in a relationship. Well, we find that it's not that necessary.
I think it depends on personality, because some people are more prone to wanting what they want.
I feel like we might have to compromise on small issues a lot more than like these big, you have to compromise issues that cause a whole bunch of problems things. For us, we've always just sort of, like all of our core beliefs just sort of line up quite nicely.
Yeah.
And even, so for the most part, even like the finer details of that, because it boils down to this one thing that we both agree on, even the finer points and details of that, we don't really have to like work through and compromise as much. There's obviously a lot of compromise that comes within our relationship, but it's mainly on like small, like everyday little tasks, just like getting things done.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're pretty in line.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, even things like, I mean, this is something that, you know, that people in relationships have to deal with when they're living together, is things like interior design, like wanting, like how they want it, their space to look and all that. And we line up perfectly with like our ideal decor slash.
I watch a lot of design shows.
Yeah.
And I've seen like these couples who would just
They clash, they
heads. Clash so much, and they butt heads because they want 2 very different styles, and they have to find a compromise on, you know, like meshing their whole space together and making it look good and incorporating both styles, and that's fine and that's cool and that's good. But for us, we just don't have to do that.
Yeah, because we pretty much agree already.
Yeah. And then there are even like bigger issues, obviously, and even smaller ones than that. But yeah, so compromise is our number 1.
Yep.
Number 2 is communication. And I know this seems like a kind of cliche one probably to some of you, but it is very, very important.
Yeah.
Now, where we may not have to compromise so much on compromise, communication can be a struggle for us sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we communicate very differently.
Yeah. Well, in any relationship you're in, you're two different people, first off, but from 2 different families who are
different upbringings.
Well, each family has their own way of communicating within their family.
And just like how people were raised. And
yeah, and how you're raised and your different experiences and stuff cause you to communicate in different ways. I mean, we, for the most part, communicate the same, but the little nuances of communication don't, we're different. And it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. There are so many occasions, several occasions, on when we're finally done getting to the point, we realize that we were arguing the same point from the same side and that we agree on the issue, but we were just coming at it from 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And so we were just like missing each other.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that you have open communication in your relationship, because I feel a lot of the time you'll come to find that you probably agree. You were just coming at it from 2 different ways of thinking.
Right. Well, and even if you disagree, it's important to not be hostile about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to disagree. You're 2 different people and you're going to disagree on things. But you don't have to be mean about it,
True that.
So.
And that will bring us to our number 3 point,
Mm-hmm.
which is a less serious one, a more fun. Being married for this long, you come to sort of have your own little marital language, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like I talked about earlier in one of the points that each family has their own way of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
We are now our own family and we're creating our own way of communicating.
Mm-hmm. Literally, Kyle and I can sit in our room and we'll just like give each other a look and I know exactly what he is thinking. Like exactly what he is thinking. And I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can do that to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I read you like a book.
Yep. And verbally, we do that type of things too, where we'll just say something, and to someone else, they'll be like, "What?" And I'm like, "I got you, boo. I got you.
We're on the same
I know
wavelength.
exactly
We know
what you're saying."
Yep.
It really helps in things like Pictionary.
That's true. It really helps in things like Pictionary.
So there are fun things, but going along also with that same point is you sort of adapt like each other's personality traits, which I think contributes to how your own little language gets created.
Yep.
Like there are certain quirks and things that sometimes you don't even realize like who they have stemmed from. You've been doing them for so long and then you both start doing them and it's like, did you start doing that? Did I start doing that? It doesn't really matter because now we both do it. And it sort of becomes like your own way of communicating.
Yep.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, and then also part of that is being in a relationship for, 5 years, first off, I know isn't like super long, but it's long enough that we've been each other for
There are a lot
significant
of
enough.
marriages that only last a year.
Yeah, well, we've been with each other for a significant enough, amount of time that we have shared experiences, and so we draw on those experiences to communicate with each other, and so that's kind of part of what kind of ties our language together is we have experiences together, so we can draw on that to communicate.
Like this. We make that face all the time at each other.
We started doing that when we were dating. I don't even know.
Like a long time ago.
We don't even know who started
But now
it.
it's like a core part of our what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
perfect.
Point number 4 is patience within a relationship.
So in your relationship that you have with anybody, there are different phases of that relationship,
Like-
as well as different levels
Yeah.
of the relationship.
So, like being married versus being just engaged versus just dating versus even just being friends or acquaintances or just getting to know each other. There are different dynamics.
So different dynamics in every phase of the relationship. When you get to the point where not only are you married, but you're kind of past the initial honeymoon phase and you're starting to get into the kind of the...
Or even married with kids.
Yeah, married with kids, right.
It's all different.
You have to have a different level of patience with each other. And the reason is because when you're dating, there are little nuances of people. First off, if you're not living together, you don't kind of get the full experience of what the person's like 24/7.
Even if you are.
And even
most
if you are.
people are like pretty on top of it, you know?
Yeah. So, but once you're married and you've been married for a few years and you're living together for, obviously you're married, so you've been living together that entire time. Little things start to kind of, I don't know what the right terminology would be, but they kind of get at you. Mm-hmm. Just little things.
Well, especially for us, ours is a very unique situation. We did not live with each other prior to marriage. Nope. And on top of that, he comes from a predominantly male family. Literally, it's just his mom who is female.
And I have 8 members of my family.
Yes. And they are all men. Brothers and one dad. So.
And then my mom.
Mm-hmm. And then.
Bless
and
you,
I come from all females. I have a sister and my mom who I lived with growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, very female home. Very male home. We didn't live together prior to marriage. So, there have been a lot of adjustments that we've both had to make when we first went into this. And after 5 years, there's still little things.
We still get frustrated.
There's still little things. Mm-hmm. But that's why patience is this point, because you need patience, like a different kind of patience for different things, depending on your stage of relationship. Mm-hmm. And especially when new things, like we have a baby now, the dynamic shifts, and therefore your patience for certain things, it changes. What you need to learn to live with and cope with and, be patient with.
Yeah, for example, I'm super messy.
So messy.
But in my defense, I'm the least messy of my family members, so...
And he's so messy.
And yeah, so... Anywho.
But there are things.
Things like that kind of wear on, you know.
Each other. We both
wear
have
on
things,
each other
yeah.
with things.
But that doesn't mean you love each other any less.
No, heck no. Love each other like crazy. But you kind of get at each other, so you got to be patient.
Yeah. All right. And our fifth and final point is continuing to find ways to bond and to relax and to grow closer together, and you know, because it's just, even if you're not the type of couple who just butts heads all the time, because there are couples out there that are like that, it's important to take time and go on date nights and you know, keep the romance alive in a sense. Like the other day, he brought me flowers and a little candy bar. Just 'cause.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Well, there was a reason. The reason was because I love my wife.
Aww. And that being said, you don't have to spend money to, like, bond and... Yeah. But that was just an example of something he did quite recently. But
something we've been trying to incorporate is going to the park on Sundays. On Sundays, after church and stuff, we like to go to the park as a family.
And it's just purely family time.
It's just bonding time with the family.
Yes. And we don't talk about work or our finances or anything. We just go and we just enjoy each other. Like, we'll bring Harry Potter sometimes and we'll read that. It's just, it's ways to kind of decompress and not let everything get in at you, because it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it helps. Yeah. Keep you closer, keep you strong.
Yep, so doing stuff like that together, we, it's been a little tricky, but we liked, before going to Disney together, we used to go to Disney World all the time together, and we still want to. We just live far enough away that it's kind of hard to get there sometimes. But, you know, just doing things together as a family, wholesome recreational activities.
Yes, that's nice. And we go on a date night at least once a week. So,
yep.
Yeah,
every
and
week
it's just,
we go on date night.
It's good to do. It's good. Yeah. So those are our 5 little things that we've learned in 5 years of marriage.
Yep.
So if you agree with any of these, or you do any of these, or whatever, leave your comments down below. I'm curious to know what you guys do, or would do if you're not married or in a relationship. I just want to know because I'm nosy. And give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're not. And I will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye!